Hello again, dreamer. Welcome back to Soft Thoughts. If you're here tonight, maybe there's something you've been carrying that doesn't have a name. Not a person you've lost. Not a place you've left behind. Just a quiet sadness that visits from time to time. And maybe it's hard to explain because nothing really happened. Or perhaps that's exactly what hurts. So tonight, let's sit with that together. What if you're grieving possibilities that never happened? We usually think of grief as something that follows a loss we can point to. A goodbye. A relationship. A season of life that has already passed. But sometimes grief looks much quieter than that. Sometimes we grieve futures we once imagined. The dreams we thought would happen. The plans we carried in our hearts. The versions of life we pictured so clearly that they almost felt real. And when life moves in another direction, there can be a strange sadness that follows. Not because your life is bad. Not because you've failed. But because a part of you remembers what you once hoped for. Maybe you imagined yourself somewhere else by now. Maybe you thought certain people would still be beside you. Maybe you expected life to feel different. And every now and then, you catch yourself wondering what would have happened if things had unfolded another way. Not because you want to live in the past, but because those possibilities mattered to you. They represented hope. And hope leaves an imprint on the heart. But perhaps the life that didn't happen doesn't need to become a source of regret. Perhaps it can simply become part of your story. Because the dreams you once carried were real. The hopes were real. The person who believed in those possibilities was real. And even if life unfolded differently, those hopes still shaped you. They taught you something. They carried you through certain seasons. They became part of the person you are now. And maybe it's okay to acknowledge that. To admit that some dreams changed. Some paths closed. Some versions of the future never arrived. Because sadness doesn't always mean something went wrong. Sometimes it simply means something mattered. And maybe you don't have to judge yourself for missing what never happened. You can honor those possibilities with gratitude. And gently make room for the life that's still unfolding. Because the story isn't over. There are still chapters you haven't lived. Still joys you haven't discovered. Still versions of tomorrow that you cannot see yet. And maybe that's where hope lives now. So tonight, if you've been quietly grieving possibilities that never came to be, you're allowed to feel that. You're allowed to honor those dreams. And you're allowed to believe that life still holds beautiful things you haven't imagined yet. Sleep well, dreamer. Sometimes we grieve what never happened. And that doesn't make those feelings any less real.